Hey, how you doing? This past week, me and my girlfriend decided to take a little trip up to Cleveland because despite me being an artist and despite me going to the University of Akron for graphic design and there being a lot of trips available for me to go up to Cleveland to go see the Cleveland Museum of Art, I've never gone. And it doesn't really make sense for me to have never have gone to go see the Museum of Art up in Cleveland, especially with it being completely free to do so. So she has seen it before, but I've never seen it, so we decided to take a little trip up there and do a few other things while we were up there as well. Now, with me being from Canton, Ohio and going to school in Akron, Ohio, I haven't got to really see a whole lot of cool city stuff, city architecture. So whenever we went to Cleveland, I had my phone camera out quite a lot and I was taking photos of the skyline that we could see around. I was taking photos of the surrounding area of the museum itself with the big pond that there is out in the middle of the museum that is super pretty. I'm sure that it would look a lot prettier once it's in bloom and actually spring, but we went on a pretty overcast day, so it wasn't filled with as much life, I guess, but it was still cool, and I was taking photos of that. Along with that, there was this statue that we saw whenever we were going around on the path trying to find our way into the actual building, because we parked on the street next to it, but we didn't know where the entrance was. I've never been, so we were just walking around the path that's around the CMA trying to figure out, and I took a photo of the statue and also the plaque about the guy. That way I could actually read up on it in my free time, and because his last name is very similar to my last name, and I thought that was kind of interesting because I've never seen anybody with a spelling of last name kind of similar to mine. And it's kind of interesting because my last name is Hungary based. My lineage goes back to the Kingdom of Hungary, but this guy is a Polish guy, so it's kind of interesting. Once we finally made our way into the place and actually found the entrance of where to go in from, we walked in and used the bathroom real quick because we knew that we were going to be walking around for a couple hours seeing everything that was in there. And immediately we went up the escalator to the left of the main lobby of the place and went up and over on the left-hand side it starts off with a few Romanticist paintings, which I'm kind of a fan of Romanticist art because it's, I believe from memory, the predecessor to Impressionist art, which is my favorite kind of painting. To be honest, is my favorite kind of art from history. And then immediately after that, it transitions into the Impressionist area, and of course, my favorite painter of all time, maybe it's cliche, but it's Claude Monet. I'm a big Monet fan, and I was surprised to find out that the CMA actually has quite a few Monet paintings, one of which being one of his water lilies from his water lily series. I was unaware that the CMA had a water lily or any Monets, to my understanding. I know that the Toledo Museum of Art has a lot of Monets, but I didn't think that the CMA did. I've also never seen the Toledo Museum of Art either. But after that, we went around that room and I took a few other pictures of some paintings that I saw in there. One that was pretty interesting was this painting that I never knew about, but apparently was like a mentor to Monet of some sorts. And I thought that was pretty interesting because it was like, because for me, with all my illustrations that I do that are like landscape illustrations, Monet is a big inspiration for me. So it was interesting to see who Monet's inspiration was and who he derived a lot of his painting, brushwork, and that sort of thing too. Then there was a couple other paintings that I decided to take some photos of that were like other Impressionist painters. There was also some Van Gogh works that were in there. Moving on from that, there was these other really cool paintings that were in the hallway after you got out of like the Impressionist and Cubism and all that kind of stuff painting, and we get like more modern art on the other side of the hallway. There was this painting that you just you really need to see this painting in person to appreciate the depth of it and like the push-pull that it's doing on your eyes. But this one was super sick. I've been getting back into photography a little bit, and there was this cool photography exhibition that they had upstairs. And there was quite a lot of figure photography in this exhibition, which I like, but it's not like my main focus of what I like to see in photography. It's not like what I am drawn to, per se. But there was this photo that I thought was very interesting in the way that it was composed with the 3 flowers in front on this little awning of this building, and I really liked the quality of the image itself with the blacks and whites and grays. So I took a photo of this as like some sort of inspiration for whenever I'm starting to get back into photography, because I did finally get some film, and I put some film into this thing. Excuse the tape on the lens cap. The little grippies on the lens cap of this broke, so tape. I've yet to go out and get a replacement lens cap. But hopefully I start doing some photography, going out and doing some photography and doing some content on here about this, as well with a couple point and shoots that I bought, one that is not working and one that is. For some reason, one of the point and shoots is having a problem with the batteries in it. Like, the battery contacts were corroded. I cleaned them and the batteries worked for about a day, but now despite what type of batteries I put in, AAA or the 6-volt little guy, it's saying that the batteries are dead. But if I put those batteries in other cameras, they work. So I don't know what's going on with that. If you guys have any ideas of why the camera would be doing that, please let me know in the comments, because I'm probably gonna have to end up taking it to a camera shop and have them diagnose it, if not. Next, there was this really cool mosaic piece that I saw that was in the modern art section, where it's made completely out of like broken tiles and glass, and with some like paint drizzled on top of it as well. And whenever you're up close to it, it's really hard to kind of see what it is, but whenever you step back, like this photo's taken, you can see that it's kind of like this man holding a bowl, or a figure holding a bowl. And I thought that was a really cool and interesting piece. I'm not always the biggest fan of modern art, but stuff like this is super sick to me. Then of course I've heard about it, but the CMA has this big wall of Andy Warhol, Marilyn Monroe prints. So I had to get a photo of those, obviously. There was this really insane pic that was on the wall, and that was made out of mixed media. I forget exactly all the things that were used to make it, but whenever you get up close into it, it's really grimy, and you can literally see like layers, like this much of stuff coming off of the actual canvas itself. But whenever you step back, you can see these railroads. And I believe, if I remember correctly, that this is supposed to be a symbolic piece for railroads to Auschwitz, I believe. And it's just a super powerful piece. I love the way that this was done and the texture of it. It like feels dirty and gross, and like it sort of brings out all of those emotions around Auschwitz and the sheer terror that was caused throughout World War II. And then moving on from that, there was this cute little piece that is a painting, but it is very photographic in nature, and I thought that the lighting on it was very nice and very photographic-like. I'm not always a big fan of these super hyper-realistic paintings, but this one teeters that edge just enough for me, and also like scratches the itch of like the photography brain in me to where I like this. Same with this one as well. This one is also very photographic-like, but it is like, it's a type of painting that like if you get super close on it, you can see like the broadness of the strokes themselves. Like they're not super clean and super precise, but whenever you go back, it kind of fills itself in, kind of like an impressionist painting, but like more in tune than an impressionist painting, if that makes any sense. Same thing with this one as well. And to round it out, here's a few other photos of some things that I took photos of as well. Like I said, this trip up to Cleveland wasn't just to see the Cleveland Museum of Art, but we also wanted to go and do a little bit of exploring of Cleveland while we were up there as well, make it a whole day trip instead of just a couple hours at the museum. So after we were done at the museum, we decided to take a little walk, short little walk, over to what I think is considered Uptown Cleveland. So we took a trip through the Case Western Reserve University buildings, and I took a few photos of that whenever we were going through because the architecture of those buildings is insane. And there was also some architecture of buildings along the way that I believe are still Case Western buildings, but they aren't as postmodern as the other ones. They're like these more old style buildings that have stained glass on them, vines overtaking them, but they're still used to this day, and they're pretty cool looking buildings. There was this photo print that we saw that was just on the ground of the sidewalk as we were walking our way to the place that we were going to get some food from, and I thought that it was pretty interesting that it was just like there and like kind of like stuck to the ground almost from the rain that we had earlier that day. And it's just of this guy that's like chilling on a couch. I don't know who this man is or why his photo is just chilling on the sidewalk. It's kind of sad, honestly, but it's a very cool photo nonetheless, like to me, like so I wanted to take a photo of this and document it. On our way to our food spot that we had picked out, we realized that it was all along the same route to the Cleveland Museum of Contemporary Art, which is like this big black mirror obelisk that is in the middle of Uptown. We had thought about going here as well, but after the few hours that we spent walking around the CMA and also to our food spot, we realized that our feet really hurt and we didn't want to walk around another museum. Despite it being a much smaller museum, we just thought that we would come back to Cleveland another day and go and see it then. But the food spot that we ended up picking was this very cute family-ran noodle shop called Otani Noodle in Uptown Cleveland, because we decided that we wanted to get some ramen, and this place was within walking distance, and I do not regret picking this place. The food there was incredible. It's a little bit pricey, but I think that it's a reasonable price. I think it was like $15 for a bowl of ramen or something like that. But the food was extremely good. Service was extremely fast. I think that the food came out within like less than 10 minutes of us ordering it, like maybe 5 to 10 minutes. In between that window, we had our food at our table, and the food ended up being fantastic. If you're ever around in the Uptown Cleveland area, I suggest that you go and have some of this delicious ramen. There's also a location of Otani Noodle that's in downtown Cleveland, so I guess if you're in either downtown or uptown, check it out. After getting our bellies filled with ramen and taking a little break and some poses with the mocha, we decided to take a little trip down to Little Italy in Cleveland. We wanted to go thrift shopping, so we ended up going to this place that happened to be in Little Italy called Moonstruck Vintage. I didn't end up finding anything there that I wanted, but Katie got this cool little satchel bag for her to end up putting her point and shoot camera in that I ended up buying her not too long ago. That way she can just slide it in here, drape it over her shoulder, and just unzip it and take it out whenever she wants to snap a pic, because the point and shoot camera didn't come with an actual strap on it. But after that, we just decided to walk up and down the strip of Little Italy for a little bit longer. We ended up going to this really good gelato place that was there. After that, we came across this cool alleyway with this mural art that was up on the top of it whenever we were trying to make our way back to our car, after checking out a few other stores that we didn't end up buying anything at. But thanks to us going down this alleyway and getting lost for a couple seconds on where to go to the car, we saw this cute little shop that was on the other side of the alleyway, further down the street to the left. And this place became very dangerous for both of our wallets. There was a lot of stuff in here that I wanted to buy, but I didn't want to end up spending hundreds of dollars here. But they had some cute little pillows, they had some cute Little Italy merch as well. But I ended up getting a few things there, and Katie got a few things there as well, and it was a fun little experience. One thing that I ended up getting at this shop was a cool print of New York. I've been to New York a few times, and I've really enjoyed going there. Each time that I went, I thought that this print was cool. It has green in it. I'm a big fan of the color green, so I had to get it. Katie ended up getting this cool print of Little Italy, a little bit of merch for Little Italy, And I'm kind of happy that she ended up getting this because I was thinking about getting it but didn't want to spend the money on it. But I think it's a cute little addition to the wall. Then, after hanging these two posters up, I finally decided to hang up a poster that I got a while back on my trip to Florida for college. I got this Wynwood Walls poster whenever we went to go see the Wynwood Walls in Florida. But ever since we moved into this house, I haven't hung it up anywhere. It's just been sitting folded up. So I finally decided, let's hang it up on the wall. Finally. I've been wanting to hang up stuff on this wall behind this futon for a while, and I'm happy that I'm finally putting some stuff up on the wall. And now the wall kind of has a bit of a meaning behind it. It's kind of like the trip wall for both me and Katie, of like places where we've been and the little doodads and memorabilia that we get along the way going to those places. After going to that little shop, we ended up going to a record shop that was not too far from there called Late Night Records. But I ended up getting this cool bag for Late Night Records, and I ended up snagging myself an Outkast record and also an Odessa record. Whenever I was looking around through all the records that they had, I saw Stankonia, and I just had to get it because, I mean, like, what record collection is complete without having Stankonia in it? And I got this Odessa record because I vaguely remember listening to them whenever I was a kid, along the same time that I got into like Porter Robinson and that sort of thing. And it was kind of a Hail Mary because I obviously don't know what the album sounds like because it's been so long and it's not in like a rotation of mine or anything like that. But it was a good decision because I played the album since, and it is a nice listen for just some background stuff while I'm doing like editing or design work on my computer. It's a very nice, just like chill background kind of electronic music. They gave me a couple stickers too, so I decided to slap those onto this little thing that I've been making recently of just a piece of cardboard that kind of houses all the stickers that I've collected. Either stickers that I've bought from places, gotten from places, or made. While at the CMA, whenever we were leaving the CMA, we went to the gift shop and we got this cool little pseudo Lego piece set thing for Van Gogh. It's inspired by a Van Gogh painting. And then Katie also pointed out to me on one of the shelves that there was this 500-piece puzzle for the art that Basquiat did for the Strokes' new Abnormal record album cover. And I'm a big Strokes fan, and I didn't know that Basquiat did that album cover. I might have knew, but all I knew is that it was a famous artist that did it. I just forgot who it was, but it's cool that Basquiat did it, I guess. And then lastly, I ended up ripping off this sticker from the Moonstruck vintage store that we went to. And I ended up putting that onto the sticker board as well as like a little piece of memorabilia that we went and did that together. I thought might as well, it's a sticker, so might as well put it on the sticker board, right? And yeah, that was everything that we ended up doing in our little Cleveland trip to go see Cleveland in the Cleveland Museum of Art. Fun little trip, good eats, good artwork, and I hope you guys enjoyed hearing me yap about this trip that we ended up going on. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and for watching the rest of the videos. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe. It would be super sick if we would be able to hit 100 subscribers on this video or the next video before my 2 months of videos, I guess. That'd be super sick. No pressure on you guys to do any of that, but it would mean a lot to me, and it has meant a lot to me, all of you guys watching this. So yeah, peace out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.